Adrian here, and welcome to demcrumbliestech. Today I'm reviewing the Bulova Accutron II Surveyor watch, and this is reference 96B213. Now, this watch was first released in 2014, I believe, and I only acquired it last year. So it was a bit of a challenge to acquire this watch brand new because it sold out in more places. So let's get into some of the details with the watch. So this watch is part of the Accutron line, which goes back, I believe, in the 1960s when the first one was released. And they have another line called the Precisionist line, which I did a review on a watch from that Precisionist line as well. And one of the similarities between the Accutron line and the Precisionist line is that they both use 262 kilohertz vibrational frequency, which is 8 times more accurate than a standard quartz watch. As a result, the accuracy on this watch is it's rated to be accurate. I believe it's plus or minus 10 seconds per year, which is pretty great when compared to a lot of other higher end, more expensive watches. So starting with the exterior of the watch, it comes in at around 66 grams. So it's not very heavy on the wrist at all. I barely notice having it on. Lug to lug, it's around 48 millimeters, and the bandwidth is around 21 millimeters, I believe. So this is with kind of like a silver type off-white dial. I'm trying to see if I can show a bit of what that looks like. So as I mentioned before, this is using the 262 kilohertz vibrational frequency, so it is an ultra high frequency watch. In terms of water resistance, it's rated for 30 meters, which is approximately 98 feet. Now it doesn't say it on here, it just says water resistant, but that's what I found online. Now, one thing to note about this watch, there is another newer version, and pretty much above the time window here, it says 262 kilohertz on the newer model. So that's something you may find. It's not a knockoff or anything like that, but you know what, I kind of do prefer having this dial without that. It's just more simple, which is, I think, is one of the strong points of this watch, how nice it looks with such a simple design. Okay, so looking at the exterior of this watch, it is a curved mineral crystal, so it's not sapphire, unfortunately, so you do have to be careful. And because it's curved, you do have some distortion at side viewing angles or extreme viewing angles. Now the top of it has this brushed metal finish surrounding the glass all around, and then it tapers off into this really nice polished finish here. Now you can see on my watch, I do have a lot of little scratches on here, on this side and on this side. Now I've only had this watch for about 9 months. I haven't worn it a lot. It is my favorite watch, so I do baby it, but it's very prone to scratches even with a lot of care. And if you look at the glass, you can see there's no scratches or anything on here. So it's not like I bumped into anything with the glass that scratched that. So I believe the metal used here is not a very strong type of metal, so that's something to keep in mind, that it does scratch quite easily. Now if we look at the other side, you could see the crown is also adorned with the Bulova logo. Let me see if I can catch focus. And you do have that textured crown for easy grip, and that's located at the 4 p.m. mark. Looking at the back of the watch, you do have this metal case. Again, you have the Bulova logo, model number. It states water resistance, but it doesn't tell you how long, but that's about 30 meters or 98 feet. Just quickly again at the band, you do have the model stamp there, genuine leather. The buckle is really nice. It has the Bulova, let me see if I can get focus here. It has the Bulova tuning fork logo there. and it's a pretty nice buckle. It's not cheap, it's not thin or frail, it feels really nice. So taking a look at the dial, you can see, one of the most eye-catching things is that continual sweep of the second hand in blue, and then it has the tuning fork logo on the opposite end. It looks really sharp. I do get a lot of compliments whenever I do wear this watch. It really does stand out, and it is quite a smooth sweep. Now if I compare that to my Precisionist watch, you can see here, I would say they're both very smooth. I can't really tell the difference. Maybe you can. Now this one is probably going to be a bit more accurate. You can see this is a very chunky watch, so the mechanism in here, it's a bit newer, better than on this watch, which is about 6-7 years old now. But I mean, that sweep looks great to me still. So taking a closer look at the dial, it is a very simple dial. Like I said, it's kind of like a silver off-white color. You can see that the number indices for the hours, it is actually applied, so it has kind of like a polished finish. You can see the light glinting off of that, and they're double applied. You see there's one at 3, 6, 9, and all the other ones are just the single piece of metal. Now I don't know if you can tell, but you could see it the 7 marker. The application of that silver marker, it's a bit offset from that black marker. So there may be some slight quality control issues. I can't really complain. It really took me about 4 months to track down a watch in good condition, so it's not like it's something I can return, something I have to live with. Okay, so the date is located right above 6 p.m. and it's kind of like a trapezoid shape, and it is large enough so that it's quite easy to read. And one of the things I really like is that there's not a lot going on this watch. So it doesn't seem like overkill. It's just very simple, very nice, clean design. So one additional disadvantage or downfall of this watch is the lume. I find that it's okay, but it's not very bright, and it's something I've noticed with my Precisionist watch as well. However, I would say the lume is slightly better on this watch than on the Precisionist watch, but don't count on it as being a strong point. I would almost forget that about the lume feature. So here's just a quick shot of what it looks like on the wrist. So my wrist is not very big. It's only about 6 3/4 inches in diameter. But you can see the watch sits really nicely on there. If I twist it, really quickly, even though I did have a bit of play, a little bit of a gap, because it is so light, it doesn't really travel too much while it's on your wrist. And you can see that dial, it really, really reflects light nicely. Same with the polished markers there. So that was just a quick review of the Bulova Accutron II Surveyor 96B213. Now, there's other models in the Surveyor line. I believe there's a green one, it has a green band, and there's also one with a blue dial. So there's a lot of variations, but this one's my favorite just because it looks so simple. Now, like I said, it really took me a while to track this watch down. I couldn't even get it in my country. I had to order it from England. And luckily, the store had one in stock. I think it was just sitting there for a while. If you check on eBay, these watches are going for, I'm seeing between 500 to 700 US. Brand new, even some used ones. So I don't think the store knew how kind of in demand this watch was. Now, I think when it was first released, it was quite reasonable in price, maybe just, say 300, 350 US, I believe. So if you're interested in this watch, I can highly recommend it. I have more expensive watches, but this one is by far my favorite watch in terms of the look and, it's really satisfying to look at that continual sweep on there. Now, I have heard reports that the battery life on this is quite poor. You can see it is a very thin case, and I do believe from what I read online that the mechanism in here, it's a bit watered down kind of to extend the battery life on here. When you look at something like the Precisionist watch, where this is a chonker, like nothing is really watered down on this. So I haven't had to replace the battery yet. Like I said, this watch is maybe 6 years old now, but in the store they had the crown pulled out, obviously, so that's not a concern. I've only had it for 9 months and everything seems to be going well so far. Okay guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Even though it's not a watch that's easy to find because it's discontinued, I hope you guys did enjoy or can appreciate the simple look of this watch. It has a certain elegance, even though it is quite simple and it doesn't have a lot going on, but it has enough with the brushed metal, the polished finish, that that blue continuous sweep, and then the polished markers on here. It's a really nice and balanced watch, wears well on the wrist, and it really does contrast nicely against your skin and whatever you're wearing. I found for most of my outfits. So if you guys like this video, please consider liking, subscribing. I mostly do tech videos, but every once in a while when I get a new watch, and I do like to review those as well. All right guys, stay tuned and see you in the next video. Bye.